So hey everybody, welcome to the Airstream Chronicles, Full-Time Airstream Living. I'm the host, Rich Charpentier, and thanks for joining me again. This is actually a second video. I'm doing back-to-back videos from our studio that we use about once a week, and I decided, hey, I'll do a second video. I enjoyed doing the first one, so I'm just putting a couple additional videos together for you. In the last video, I talked about the difference, RV size technology, and specifically I talked about the camera I'm recording on right now, a Sony a5100, and one of my big digital SLRs that I've been using for years. So on this installment of the Airstream Chronicles, I wanted to talk about smartphones. So for full-time RVers, space is always at a premium. You really have to pick and choose what comes along with you. In my case, 25-foot Airstream, I don't have a ton of space, so things need to fit, and they need to fit easily. And if they don't fit well, they need to go. So when I first started traveling full-time with my Airstream in 2006, the Airstream was fairly empty. I had a MacBook Pro from that day and age that I used for my communications, for entertainment, watching DVDs, pre-Netflix basically. I didn't have that at the time. And I had a little old flip phone with me. Maybe it was a Motorola or something. I can't remember. I didn't have an iPhone at the time because 2006, I don't think there was an iPhone at the time. But the smartphones have come a very long way. And as a guy who used to build digital cellular networks with Sprint PCS, AT&T Wireless, and US Cellular, I was very big into mobile technology. So I really had a plan for myself with what was going into the Airstream and what wasn't. Today, I've got to say it's gotten really exciting for all of us. And if you're an RVer or thinking about being a full-time RVer, you got to know it's much easier on you today. When I was traveling around the country in 2006, I had a PCM CIA card. So it was this card that went into the side of my computer. And I found a portable router that I could actually plug this Verizon card into. And I was running around with 1x data. Awesome! So I was actually able to update my blog as I was traveling, keep up with emails, keep up with friends and family. And man, I was on the cutting edge. I remember going to Salem, Oregon in 2006 for an Airstream rally. And so I had my mobile Wi-Fi router with my PCM CIA card plugged into it. And I remember coming out of the Airstream one morning to greet several people sitting outside of my Airstream. They were using my network. So they weren't there to see me. They were there because there was Wi-Fi around my network, and I had actually allowed a neighbor onto it, and some other folks got onto it. Whoops. So that was an interesting morning. But today, here's my iPhone 8 Plus, and with this is a portable hotspot for me, so I can use this for connecting to the internet, connecting my computer to the internet, connecting my iPad to the internet. And I do have the unlimited business plan. We just changed plans recently because the business plan is much more reasonable now, and it massively lowered my monthly phone and internet costs. So that was awesome. That's not a plug for Verizon. Everybody's doing this now. They finally realized that data is important. When you can run around with a device like an iPhone or an Android phone and tune into YouTube and get on Twitter and pop by Facebook, data has become really important for all this smart mobile technology. So the iPhone is a real game changer compared to traveling around in 2006. Like I said, I've got the hotspot built into it. I've got all these applications on it. My iPhones are used for control of my DJI drone as well. One of my drones, not the other drone because it's too old. And I have been using the iPhone 8 for a lot of photography lately. So in the last installment, in the last episode, we talked about the size of the mirrorless cameras and the size of my DSLRs and how much space they take. Well, this iPhone 8 here has captured some incredible photography. As a matter of fact, before I swapped my phone out, I had an iPhone 6, not a Plus or anything, just the 6. And what you're seeing on the background here is we're going through some different images of mine. All of the images that I'm showing today are taken with my iPhone 6 or my iPhone 8 Plus. So a lot of the photography that I did while I was out in Borrego Springs a few weeks ago was with the iPhone or with my GoPro. But everything that we're showing today, that's all from the iPhone. So with the iPhone technology today, even on some of the older models, and a tool like Lightroom CC, the mobile version of Lightroom from Adobe, you can make some basic edits and you can take a snapshot and turn it into a really breathtaking photograph, something that you'd actually be proud to print. So I said back when I first hit the road, try to minimize space, try to use technology as a solution to not taking up so much space. So instead of running around with a bunch of DVDs, I copied all the DVDs that I owned onto a hard drive, and those DVDs went into storage. So I leveraged technology to minimize space consumption. Today, as an RVer, if you're setting out for the first time, I'm so jealous you didn't have to go through a lot of the growing pains. All you have to do is grab up one of these smartphones for your communications, for your internet browsing, for your entertainment, for photography, for banking. It's all in a tiny little package now. And so that takes a lot less space. Of course, I've still got a lot of space taken up in the Airstream because I do a lot of tech work still. So I'm still hanging on to my big cameras because I just can't let go of them, but I need to let go of them. If I ever start doing a lot of portrait work again, I'd probably rather have those around. And I also know that I'm just not going to get back what I invested in those cameras. But if you're setting out right now, you don't need the biggest, baddest camera on the block. An iPhone or one of the latest Android devices might suffice to really cover all of your photographic needs. If you're not looking to do stuff for production and for print, a smartphone's probably going to be all you need today. I know it doesn't have the greatest zoom in the world. That's when you can look into one of the new mirrorless cameras out there on the market. But bottom line for you is that in a very limited amount of space, you can basically have your portable photo studio, your portable communications device, and your portable entertainment all in one small package. It's absolutely awesome. And while I knew the power of tech and the power of digital networks when I was working on them in the late 1990s and the early 2000s, I couldn't have predicted that it would come this far this quickly. The technology available today is smaller, faster, more accurate. There's so much positive to say about it. And yes, I know there are problems with mobile tech as well. That's like anything in life. There's the good and the bad. But overall, for RVers, if you're looking to massively save space on your next trip, just the latest smartphone from whichever of the manufacturers you prefer is going to take you a long way to covering a lot of your trip and sharing your trip and following along with other people on their trips. So I'm jealous of all of you guys. I've gone through the growing pains of the tech while full-time RVing, and where we're at today, it's really simplified. And by the way, you probably already know this if you are an RVer, but there's so many great apps out there for finding campgrounds, getting directions. That standalone Garmin GPS that you used to carry around, you don't really need it with you anymore. The DVD collections, you don't really need them anymore. The big books listing campgrounds, you don't need them anymore. It's all covered with one device. Absolutely incredible. All right. Thanks for joining me for another tech version of the Airstream Chronicles full-time Airstream living. And that'll be the last one from the studio today because now we need to jump into some drone talk. So I'll see you guys soon. And don't forget, I'm going to be hitting the road on April 23rd. I'm going up to Page, Arizona. and shooting a couple of favorite secret places that most people don't know about. So you'll be seeing some images from that. I might even do a live stream from Page. After I'm out of Page, Arizona, I'm heading over to Cortez, Colorado to work with one of my clients, one of my web clients, who we're going to do some drone work for. Finally, I'm going to be heading down to Springerville, Arizona as well. And we'll be doing some drone work there and some photography and some more web work as well. And stay tuned in the near future. I'll be announcing whether or not we're going to be doing a live stream from Lake Powell in northern Arizona. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have an awesome day.